Let's do some long division and we are going to leave our answer as a remainder. I first take my problem, I'm going to rewrite it over here because I don't have enough space over there. So 24. I know that 24 can't go into 8, so I guess I should put some steps over here. We're going to divide, divide, then multiply. Subtract, bring down. Uh-oh, act like that's an N. That's a down arrow. Whoa, what's happening here? The whole word repeat is looking weird. Okay, so after we do all of that, we're going to repeat it. So, divide. What is 8 divided by 24? If I have 8, I can divide it by 24. That would give me some weird stuff like a 0. What about 84? How many times can 24 go into 84? So let's see here. I know that 24 times 1 is 24, but let me see what 24 times 2 is. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, that's 48. Let me see what 24 times 3 is. 3 times 4 is 12. I write a 2, carry a 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, that's 72. Let me just check and see what 24 times 4 is. I'm thinking it's going to be able to go in there 3 times, but we will see. 4 times 4, that is 16. I write a 6, carry a 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 96, that's too much. Based on my calculations over here, I know that if I have 84, I can take 3 sets of 24 out because 3 times 24 is 72. So I divided, I multiplied 3 times 24. I'm going to subtract because that's my next step. 4 minus 2 gives me 2. 8 minus 7 gives me 1. After I've subtracted, I have to bring down my 9. Now I need to figure out what is 129 divided by 24 because I have to start all over back at the top. I repeat, start all the way back over at the top. I know that 24 times 4 is 96. Let me see what 24 times 5 is. 5 times 4 is 20. Write a 0, carry a 2. 5 times 2, that's 10, plus 2 is 12. 120? Sounds good to me. We'll go with a 5. Let's put a 5 here. We just came to the conclusion that 5 times 24 was 120. Now I subtract. I am left with 9. I have nothing else to bring down, so I'm finished. My answer is 35, remainder 9. I went through way too much for this to not work, so I have to check my answer. I'm going to erase this, and I want to check my answer. The opposite of division is multiplication. We just divided, so now I'm going to multiply to check my answer. I'm going to do 35 times 24. Then I'll add my remainder back in. If it works out and I come up with 849, then my answer is correct. 4 times 5 is 20, so I write a 0 and I carry a 2. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 more is 14. I write a 0 and mark out my 4 because I'm finished with it. 2 times 5 is 10. I write a 0, carry a 1. Let's get that 2 out of there so we don't get confused. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. When I add it up, 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus nothing is 4. 1 plus 7 is 8. I have 840, but remember I have to add my remainder back in. We had 9 left over here. When I add my 9 back in, I end up with 849, which is what I originally started with, so I know my answer is correct. The answer was 35 with a remainder of 9. Let's try this one out. We have 8,203, and they want us to divide that by 31. 31 can't go into 8, but I wonder how many times 31 can go into 82. Let me do some math over here. I know that 31 times 1 is 1, but 31 times 2, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, 31 times 2 would give me 62. I probably can do a little more. Let's see what 31 times 3 is. 3 times 3 is 3. Sorry, 3 times 1 is 3, my bad. 3 times 3 is 9. That's too much. All I have is 82. So I now know that I can only go into it twice. Once we multiplied, we know that 2 times 31 gave us 62. When I subtract it out, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 8 minus 6 is 2. I bring down my 0. Now I ask myself, how many times can 31 go into 200? I already know over here that 31 times 3 is 93. Let me see what 31 times 4 is. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, that's 124. Let's see if we can do a little more. Let's see what 31 times 5 is. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, let's try a little more. Let's see 31 times 6. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, I'm pretty sure it'll be 6, but let's try 7 just to make sure. 31 times 7. Uh-oh, my 7's missing. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 3 is 21. That's too much. All I have is 200, so I know it can only go in 6 times because 6 times 31 was 186. When we subtract it out, I can't borrow from my neighbor over here because my neighbor has nothing, so I got to go way down the street and borrow from this 2. Uh-oh, sorry. The 2 is going to become a 1, and this is going to become a 10. Now that this is 10, I can borrow 1 from my neighbor, which will make it a 9, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 6 gives me 4. 9 minus 8 gives me 1, and 1 minus 1 was nothing. I can now bring down my 3. How many times can 31 go into 143? Let's do some looking over here in these numbers. 155, that's too much. Looks like this one will work. This is why it's a good idea to keep these things written down so that you don't have to keep doing them over and over. Once you write it down, you're good to go. So I know it can go in there 4 times because 4 times 31 is 124. When I subtract it out, 3 can't be 4 can't be taken from 3 because 3 is bigger, so I borrow from my neighbor. This becomes a 3, this becomes a 13. 13 minus 4 would give me a 9. 3 minus 2 would give me a 1. So now I'm left with, and 1 minus 1 is nothing. So now I'm left with a remainder of 19. In order to check it, I multiply 264 times 31. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. I'm finished with my 1, so I can mark it off and write a 0 here. 3 times 4 is 12, so I write a 2, carry a 1. 3 times, my 1's not carrying up there. There we go. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 more is 19. I write a 9, carry a 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Let's add this stuff up here. 4 plus nothing is 4. 6 plus 2 is 8. 2 plus 9 is 11, so I write a 1, carry a 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. I have 8, 1, 8, 4. I need to add in my remainder, which was 19. 4 plus 9 gives me 13. I write a 3, carry a 1. 1 plus 8 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Write a 0, carry a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 8 plus nothing is 8. This matches what we started with, so I know my answer is correct. My answer was 264 with a remainder of 19. Perfect. On this one, we do the same thing. I have 589, and I want to divide it by 31. Let's see how many times 31 can go into 58. I know that 31 times 1 is 31. 31 times 2 would give me a 62. 31 times 3, looks like 62 is already too much. We don't even want to go that far. Let's put a 1 here. 1 times 31 was 31. When I subtract it out, I am left with a 27. Now I can bring down my 9. I'm going to use some big numbers here. I'm going to see what 31 times something like 8 is. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, that may work, but let me try 9 just to make sure. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Oh, wait a minute here. That's exactly what I need. So a 9 goes here. I came to the conclusion that it would be 279. 279 minus 279 gives me 0. I almost typed it in without checking. According to this, my answer is 19 and I don't have a remainder, but we'll see. I'm going to multiply it to check. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. Write my 0, cross out my 1. 3 times 9 is 27. I write a 7, carry a 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. When I add this up, 9 plus nothing is 9, 1 plus 7 is 8, and 5 plus nothing is 5. I have 589, which is what I started with, so I know my answer is 19 with a remainder of 0. And we're finished.